Welcome friends to a new session on Informatics and Introduction to Bioinformatics. Overview of Information Technology Part 2. Computer Peripherals. A peripheral is a piece of computer hardware that is added to a computer in order to expand its abilities. As you can see in the figure, the major peripherals of a computer are keyboard, mouse, microphone, speaker, monitor, screen, system unit. The main distinction among peripherals is the way they are connected to your computer. They can be connected internally or externally. System unit. The system unit is the core of a computer system. The most important of these components is the central processing unit or the CPU or microprocessor, which acts as the brain of your computer. Another component is random access memory (RAM), which temporarily stores information that the CPU uses while the computer is on. The information stored in RAM is erased when the computer is turned off. And another part is read-only memory or ROM, computer memory on which data has been pre-recorded. Once data has been written onto a ROM chip, it cannot be removed and can only be read. Unlike main memory, RAM, ROM retains its contents even when the computer is turned off. ROM is referred to as being non-volatile, whereas RAM is volatile. Most personal computers contain a small amount of ROM that stores critical programs such as the program that boots the computer. In addition, ROMs are used extensively in calculators and peripheral devices such as laser printers, whose fonts are often stored in ROMs. A variation of a ROM is a PROM, that is, Programmable Read-Only Memory. PROMs are manufactured as blank chips on which data can be written with a special device called a PROM programmer. Central Processing Unit (CPU). CPU receives data and instructions, stores them temporarily, and then processes the data as per the instructions. Because the CPU performs many different functions, there is a need to divide it up into its components. There are two main components. They are Arithmetic and Logic Unit or ALU and the Control Unit. Before we discuss the Control Unit and the Arithmetic or Logic Unit in detail, we need to consider data storage and its relationship to the Central Processing Unit. Computers use two types of storage, primary storage and secondary storage. The CPU interacts closely with primary storage or main memory, referring to it for both instructions and data. For this reason, this part of the reading will discuss memory in the context of the Central Processing Unit. Technically, however, memory is not part of the CPU. Recall that a computer's memory holds data only temporarily at the time the computer is executing a program. Secondary storage holds permanent or semi-permanent data on some external magnetic or optical medium. The diskettes and CD-ROM disks that you have seen with personal computers are secondary storage devices, as are hard disks. ALU, abbreviation of Arithmetic Logic Unit, the part of a computer that performs all arithmetic computations such as addition and multiplication and all comparison operations. The ALU is one component of the CPU. For example, it can add two numbers together in binary. The Control Unit, which extracts instructions from memory and decodes and executes them, calling on the ALU when necessary. It performs logic decisions to be made on data. If the value is negative, then the part of the processor that makes the decision is the ALU. These are computations that involve the use of AND, or, not, greater than, smaller than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, greater than, small than, equal to. Almost every other part of your computer connects to the system unit using cables. The cables plug into specific ports, typically on the back of the system unit. Hardware that is not part of the system unit is sometimes called a peripheral device or device. Your computer's hard disk drive stores information on a hard disk, a rigid platter or stack of platters with a magnetic surface. Because hard disks can hold massive amounts of information, they usually serve as your computer's primary means of storage, holding almost all of your programs and files. The hard disk drive is normally located inside the system unit. Floppy disk drive. Floppy disk drives store information on floppy disks, also called floppies or diskettes. Compared to CDs and DVDs, floppy disks can store only a small amount of data. They also retrieve information more slowly and are more prone to damage. For these reasons, floppy disk drives are less popular than they used to be, although some computers still include them. CD and DVD drives. Nearly all computers today come equipped with a CD or DVD drive, usually located on the front of the system unit. CD drives use lasers to read or retrieve data from a CD, and many CD drives can also write data onto CDs. If you have a recordable disk drive, you can store copies of files on blank CDs. You can also use a CD drive to play music, CDs on your computer. DVDs offer higher storage capacity than compact discs while having the same dimensions. DVD was an initialism for the unofficial term digital video disc. Input devices. An input device presents data to the processing unit in machine-readable form. They are used to accept raw data from external world, to convert the accepted data to binary form, and to send the binary data for further processing. The most common input devices are keyboard, mouse, scanner, light pen, optical mark reader, etc. A new popular pointing device that may eventually replace the mouse is touchscreen, which you can get on some tablet notebooks. Mouse. A mouse is a small device used to point to and select items on your computer screen. Although mice come in many shapes, the typical mouse does look a bit like an actual mouse. It's small, oblong, and connected to the system unit by a long wire that resembles a tail. Some newer mouse are wireless. A mouse usually has two buttons, a primary button, usually present on the left side, and a secondary button. Many mouse also have a wheel between the two buttons, which allows you to scroll smoothly through screens of information. Keyboard. A keyboard is used mainly for typing text into your computer, like the keyboard on a typewriter. It has keys for letters and numbers, but also has some special keys. While most computers come with a keyboard and a mouse, other input devices may also be used to send information to the computer. Some examples include joysticks, MIDI keyboards, microphones, scanners, webcams, card readers, UPC scanners, and scientific measuring equipment. All these devices send information to the computer and therefore are categorized as input devices. Joysticks. These joysticks are commonly used to control video games. Joysticks consist of a base and a stick that can be moved in any direction. The stick can be moved slowly or quickly and in different amounts. Some joysticks have sticks that can also be rotated to the left or right. Because of the flexible movements a joystick allows, it can provide much greater control than the keys on a keyboard. MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. It is a connectivity standard that musicians use to hook together musical instruments such as keyboards and synthesizers and computer equipment. Webcam. The term webcam is a combination of web and video camera. The purpose of a webcam is, not surprisingly, to broadcast video on the web. Webcams are typically small cameras that either attach to a user's monitor or sit on a desk. Most webcams connect to the computer via an universal serial bus or a USB, though some use a firewire connection. Output devices. Output devices receive information from the CPU and present it to the user in the desired form. They are used to accept information from the computer and convert the coded information to human understandable form and output to the outside world. The absolute most common external output device is a monitor. Other very popular output devices are printers and speakers. Monitor. A monitor displays information in visual form using text and graphics. The portion of the monitor that displays the information is called the screen. Like a television screen, a computer screen can show still or moving pictures. There are two basic types of monitors: CRT, that is a cathode ray tube monitor, and LCD, liquid crystal display monitors. Both types produce sharp images, but LCD monitors have the advantage of being thinner and lighter. CRT monitors, however, are generally more affordable. Printer. A printer transfers data from a computer to a paper. You don't need a printer to use your computer, but having one allows you to print email, cards, invitations, announcements, and other materials. Many people also like being able to print their own photos at home. The two main types of printers are inkjet printers and laser printers. Inkjet printers are the most popular printers for the home. They can print in black and white or in full color and can produce high quality photographs when used with special paper. Laser printers are faster and generally better able to handle heavy use. While monitors and printers are the most common output devices, there are many others. Some examples include headphones, speakers, projectors, lighting control systems, audio recording devices, and robotic machines. A computer without an output device connected to it is pretty useless, since the output is what we interact with. External storage and input-output devices. There are also devices that function as both input and output devices, such as external hard drives, media card readers, digital camcorders, digital mixers, MIDI equipment. In computing, external storage comprises devices that temporarily store information for transporting from computer to computer. Such devices are not permanently fixed inside a computer. They are designed to be plugged in or inserted into the computer to function. Some examples of external storage devices are CD, flash drives, and external hard disk drives. External hard disk drive (HDD). External hard disk drives are portable, removable drives that you can carry along with you to store files or transfer files from one computer to another. They are often designed with a USB port, where one end of a USB cable is to be plugged in while the other end is to be connected to the computer. Advantages: they are portable and usually come in large memory size. Disadvantages are they are generally costly and are big enough not to fit into small pockets. USB flash drive. Universal serial bus flash drives are small storage devices that you can plug into a computer's USB port to function. After that, you can easily store and transfer files from and to the computer. They come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes and are available in stores. The advantages are they are very portable so that you can keep it inside your pocket and are generally affordable. Disadvantages: most commonly used USB flash drives can only hold up to 16 to 32 GB data files at present. Zip drive. Zip drives are disk drives that make use of removable zip disks in storing large sizes of data. They look like a floppy disk drive, but what you insert is a zip disk, not a floppy disk. Zip disks are thicker and heavier than floppy disks. Advantages: They offer a wide range of storage options and include backup options. They are portable as well. The disadvantages: they are generally costly and require investment both in the hardware and the zip disks. CD drive. A CD-RW is a readable and writable compact disk. By writable, it means that data can be stored through it through the process called data burning. To be able to burn data into a CD-RW drive is required. Advantages: a CD-RW disk can be used repeatedly, meaning you can use just one disk and overwrite data in it. They are very relatively inexpensive and very portable. Disadvantages: most CD-RW disks can hold up to 700 MB of data only. Moreover, to be able to store data in a CD-RW disk, your computer must have a compatible drive first. DVD-RW and DVD-RW drives. DVD-RW works the same as CD-RWs, where data can be stored and burned through DVDs using a DVD-RW drive. DVD read-write disks, however, can carry larger amount of data and produce greater quality. Advantages: they offer more flexibility as they burn twice as fast and as efficient as CD burners. They store up to a few MB of data. Finally, they are also portable and easy to use. Disadvantages: you can only burn data in a DVD-RW if your computer comes with a DVD-RW drive. Buses. The CPU of personal computer has to send and receive various types of information and data to and from all devices and components inside a computer and to devices connected to the outer world of computer. If we remove the case of CPU, then we will see that there is a mesh of wires or electronic pathways connected between motherboard and other components. These are the wires or electronic pathways that joins various components together to communicate with each other. This network of wires or electronic pathways is known as a bus. Thus, bus is simply a set of wire of lines that connects various components inside a computer. Types of buses. Mainly, computer's bus can be divided into two types: internal bus, external bus. Internal bus. A bus or set of wires which connects the various components inside a computer is known as an internal bus. As it is used for internal communication purposes, it connects various components inside the cabinet like CPU, memory and motherboard. It's also known as a system bus. External bus. A bus or set of wires which is used to connect outer peripherals or components to computer is known as external bus. It allows different external devices to be connected to computer. It is slower than the internal or system bus. It's also known as an expansion bus. While these are some of the more common peripherals, there are many other kinds as well. Just remember that any external device that provides input to the computer or receives output from the computer is considered a peripheral. Let us now summarize what we have learned in this session. A peripheral is a piece of computer hardware that is added to a computer in order to expand its abilities. A typical desktop computer consists of a computer case which holds the power supply, motherboard, hard disk and often an optical disk drive. External devices such as a computer monitor or visual display unit, keyboard and a pointing device are usually found in a personal computer. The motherboard connects all processor, memory and peripheral devices together. The RAM, graphics card and processor are mounted directly onto the motherboard. The central processing unit, microprocessor chip, plugs into a socket. Expansion memory plugs into memory sockets. Some motherboards also have the video display adapter, sound and other peripherals integrated onto the motherboard, while others use expansion slots for graphic cards, network cards or other input-output devices. The graphics card or sound card may employ a breakout box to keep the analog parts away from the electromagnetic radiation inside the computer case. Disk drives for mass storage are connected to the motherboard with a cable and to the power supply through another cable. Usually disk drives are mounted in the same case as the motherboard. Formerly, expansion cases were made for additional disk storage. For really large amount of data, a tape drive can be used or extra hard disks can be put together in an external case. The keyboard and the mouse are external devices plugged into the computer through connectors on an input-output panel on the back of the computer. The monitor is also connected to the input-output panel either through an onboard port on the motherboard or a port on the graphics card. An operating system is the software that operates the hardware on behalf of the user. It is that software which makes the hardware usable to the humans. An input device is an electromechanical device that accepts data or information from the user and translates the information into a form which the computer can interpret. An output device converts machine-readable data or information into human-readable form. The printed form of output is referred as hard copy, while the form of output displayed on the screen is referred as a soft copy. The following are some questions for you as an assignment in the session. First, what are the meanings of the following terms? CPU, bus, 32-bit microprocessor, RAM and ROM. Second, what is the difference between a bit and a byte? Third, give details on various types of input-output devices and explain their functions. 4. Give details on types of computer storage peripherals. 5. Differentiate input devices from output devices. The following are some books and websites for your reference in this session. David E. Smith, Knowledge Groupware and the Internet 2000, Resources for the Knowledge-Based Economy. Websites: www.mcis.jsu.edu, www.computer-realm.net, www.homepage.cs.uri.edu. Thank you for listening to this session. Let us meet in the next session. Until then, bye.